join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
You are making an assumption about the signals being received at sea. So you're saying the fact that this signal is received makes me believe that there are satellites in a place called space, which would mean that my belief in the globe is true. Okay, I will accept that that is what you believe those signals mean. But that is not proof, that is your belief. So if that is true, if your belief is true that receiving these signals at sea means that the Earth is a curved ball that's spinning, then I'll say, okay, I accept that's what you believe. Now let's get to the bit where it's proven by the curve, right? So if we get the signals, the ocean is curved. Okay, where is the curve? How do we measure that to confirm that the GPS signals mean that it's curved?
Okay, so right now you're talking about the curve, so it's
Well,
not the same subject. And what I'm gonna say
yeah,
right now is that
it is
you
the subject
say
because you're
you
saying
believe
the
something.
GPS. You're saying the GPS proves the curve, basically. So I'm saying,
No,
well,
I didn't say that.
okay.
And
So the
what I'm
GPS
saying,
doesn't prove a
okay,
curve. Then the GPS
okay,
doesn't prove
please.
that the ocean's curved. Then is that what you're saying?
I'm saying GPS. GPS. What I'm saying is that it does prove that there are satellites over your head orbiting the Earth, and then in a way proving that the Earth has a curve. But what I want
Oh,
to
okay.
say,
So the
please don't
satellites,
cut
so
me. Please
the
don't cut me.
GPS
I have
does prove that
something.
it's a curve. Okay, so we need to see that curve being measured then.
I'm not talking about the measure of the curve. Right now we're
Yes,
talking
you
about the
know, no.
GPS.
Okay, so you can't
Okay,
say that
please
it
don't
proves
change
curve.
subject. Please don't
No.
subject.
That is the
Oh,
subject
yes,
because you're
you're. No, no,
saying
no,
your
no.
belief.
You are changing subject. We're talking about GPS,
Alexa,
and you.
when I'm speaking, you listen, okay? So you are making the claim, and it's a fallacious leap of logic to say, okay, I'm receiving a signal out at sea, which makes me believe that the satellite story is true, which makes me believe that the curvature story is true. That is exactly what you just said. You just said, which does indirectly prove the curvature, which it doesn't, but that is what you're really claiming here. So we're not interested in spending ages talking about what technologies exist, because we already know what technologies exist. But you're saying you have a belief that the signal means there's curve. Okay, if your theory is correct, then we should be able to measure the curve, because that is what you're saying. It's not a different subject. This is what you are implying with your claim about GPS. So when I say, okay, then we need to verify that curvature, don't try and get away from that, because it's not a change in subject. It's actually getting to the root of what it is that you're claiming. So, okay, you believe the GPS signal means curvature. I accept that you believe that. Now let's verify that that's true by verifying the curvature. How do we verify the curvature? Directly.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about curvature right now. I want to talk about the GPS, and please let me
Right,
talk.
okay,
Please let me
no
talk.
problem.
Please,
No
come on.
problem. Don't get upset. We'll let you talk about it. No worries. Don't get so fucking upset, young man, please.
I just want to say something,
Yeah, I
please.
know. All right, just chill out before you say your next thing. And I got a question for you.
Okay, so the guy who was talking to me about the GPS was saying it's not because there is no evidence that something is false. I think that was what he said, and so he believed that we are located by GPS balloon over the Pacific Ocean, but there is literally no evidence proving it is true.
Okay, so your quick Google search come back with no results. Maybe you should go to the primary source. That would be NASA, who I mentioned. You'll find out through historical records that launching balloons up into the sky to figure out what the weather was one of the first things that they did, because they were interested in going up into the sky as easy as possible, and balloons do that. I would suggest you go to the primary source, the people that I'm talking about. You will then see that they have open balloon satellite programs that they release from Antarctica. These travel on known trade winds and Gulf streams. You can go and look at that. A quick Google search might not come back with anything, mate. That's fine. But go to NASA. Literally, what I said, test what I said, go there.
And listen, it's not up to us to prove an alternative to your claim. If we can falsify your claim of there being tin cans doing orbits around a spherical Earth inside a never-expanding vacuum, then that's it. Game over. We don't have to go any further and provide you with any other explanation. We haven't made a claim about it.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but I found literally nothing about GPS balloon over the Pacific Ocean. So unless you show me some proof or what,
Did you just not hear a word I said?
no, show me on the live stream voice text, so it'll be easier.
Yeah, I just said we don't have to prove anything to you, friend. You have made a claim. If we can falsify it, game over. End of story.
Well, then do it. Falsify it.
Okay, I'll falsify it right now. Do you know what a Cartesian coordinate system is? What GPS is? Based on a Cartesian... Yeah. So you'll understand that is based on three-dimension Euclidean geometry, right? Awesome. So that hasn't got any curves in it. To get any type of curved map, you require, and your measurements come from flat Earth angle measurements that require the surface of the Earth to be flat. Mention Cartesian coordinate systems. I'm also going to mention longitude and latitude. You got all of these derivatives from angle measurements to stars, Polaris primarily. You can only get angle measurements on a known flat surface, for example. Because every star we're going to measure from has a known 90 degree on the surface of the Earth, its ground position. Your Cartesian coordinate system that your GPS is based on requires the Earth to be flat. You used our model first and then got your global model next, if you want to look into that as well. But longitude and latitude come from angle measurements to stars. Declination angles to Polaris. That's why we have 90 degrees northern latitude underneath Polaris, 45 degrees between the northern latitude of 90 degrees in Polaris and the equator, and 0 degrees at the equator. This is how this happens. They're degrees, they're angles, only possible on a flat Earth. So your GPS is based on a flat Earth, Cartesian, Euclidean geometry system. Don't care where you get the signals from, mate.
So I just want to say something about what we talk right now. So you'll probably be mad and saying I'm wrong, but you didn't show me that there was a GPS balloon over the Pacific Ocean.
So everything that I just said was irrelevant. Even though I also ended the statement by it doesn't matter where your signals come from. The fact that you're using a Cartesian coordinate system requires the Earth to be level. Three-dimensional Euclidean straight line geometry where no curves appear in it until you put the curves in afterwards, therefore removing the angle measurements that you took in the first place, because you can't get angle measurements off of curved surfaces, my friend. I don't care where you get your signal from. You can't just arbitrarily take signals away. You can't take the technology away and say, if I hypothetically say I'm in a place that I don't get these signals from, then it can only be from the vacuum of space and my satellites. Now, just because your quick Google search hasn't rendered you any balloon satellites from NASA like I mentioned, give me 5-10 minutes, sunshine. It's not a problem, but I don't think you've looked hard enough. You don't have to talk about it because I just gave you a flat Earth requirement to use your geometry. Your basis, yeah.
Can I just ask him a question, Jedi?
Of course you can, mate. I've got to go do his homework for him, apparently.
Yeah, no worries. Who's using GPS in the middle of the Southern Ocean off Argentina? Who's doing that? No answer?
He's not even responding, Lamo.
No. Talking to you.
Oh, talking to me?
Yep.
Who's using GPS in what? Sorry, I was listening. Because
in the middle of the ocean, in the Southern Ocean or Pacific Ocean, in the Southern Hemisphere,
I
in
don't
the
know.
middle of nowhere.
Probably
Who's
not.
using it? So you
Probably
don't have an example of it.
No, sorry, there is example. If you go there, you use the GPS, it will locate you perfectly, and
In
there
the
are
middle of the
probably
ocean, do you have an example of this, please?
for example, I've went every summer, and I'm going 5th there. I'm going to Turkey in the Mediterranean Sea,
You said
and
Argentina in the middle of the ocean. Mediterranean Sea is not that large. You can get that from the surrounding lands.
no,
Where in the Southern Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean, who is using GPS, and can we have an example?
well, I don't really have an example right now, and don't cut
Are
me,
you just
please.
making stuff up
So,
again?
okay, you're cutting me, great. So,
Because you're making stuff up.
no, if you go right now to the Pacific Ocean right now and use,
Man.
for example, Google Maps, and it will just
Oh my
locate
God,
perfect.
man.
Right,
And
sorry,
now,
sorry,
okay,
Lexa, gonna have to come back because I've done your homework for you, and I'm
so
interrupting because I'm back so quick. So my quick Google search comes back with what I've just copy and pasted in the live stream, and I can provide you shitloads more. My goodness me! So they freely and admit that they use large scientific balloons launched near McMurdo Station, Antarctica, provide high altitude and long duration flights that are required for scientific payloads in several fields.
yeah,
So
and
I
they're
told, hold on, don't go. Yeah, I told you that NASA used balloons from Antarctica and they travel on trade winds. That's what I claimed. That's all I claimed, that NASA put satellites on balloons. And then I've done a very quick Google search and come back with that very information. Your quick Google search says nothing, apparently, but my homework was very quick. I took less than a minute. That's why I'm jumping up and down, because, come on, sunshine. We're just talking about your hypothetical of not getting a signal, but only getting a signal from a satellite in the vacuum of space. I've already taken your coordinate system down, which requires a flat Earth. I just said balloon with a satellite on it that NASA says that they do, and guess what? NASA says that they do it. Brilliant.
Right. So just to add to that, so Timbo asked for an example, and you didn't really have one. Jedi's just shown you that they are launching balloons in the south. But I'd also like to ask the question, so say we're in the south and we're receiving a signal, where does that signal come from? What's the origin of the signal?
you talking about when I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right?
Sure, whatever your example was.
Near Hawaii.
Well, it come from GPS satellite who are orbiting in a geostationary orbit.
Okay. How do you know that that's the origin of the signal?
Well, because there is nothing else who can locate me.
There you go.
So it's
There
just
you
a
go.
claim.
What a
So it's just
circle.
an
Yeah, you're
assumption.
funny. So,
Wait. So wait.
GPS.
So Lexa, it's just an assumption. You're not actually tracing the signal to its source. You're just saying, I don't think there's anything else that could do it, so I'm going to assume it's from a satellite in a vacuum.
Thanks, Lexa. Thank you,
you're-
Lexa, for playing.
Oh,
Because you just,
really,
dude,
thank
you just formulated it perfectly for us. Right? You demonstrated what you were doing and how you were going about it. You're just arbitrarily saying, yeah. But I'm not getting a signal in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Right? You're just arbitrarily saying it, mate. What? Remember, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, what, Hawaii, and there's a few islands around. Some random location where you're just going to declare, well, I can't get a signal from here or anywhere else, and I don't believe that you can put balloons up in the sky, or not close enough to me where I arbitrarily decide that I am far enough away from Antarctica. Awesome, I'll start sending balloons to you from the Arctic, because they do the same things there in the Gulf Stream in the north. So what's your problem?
Yes.
You're just going to
So Lexa,
arbitrarily decide, aren't you? Sorry, Wolfgang, I know that you want to carry the conversation on. I'm just frustrated. I just want him to get the point. He can't keep circling us around to this.
yeah, that's what I need him to understand, Lexa. You understand that you making a claim as to the origin of this signal that you can't actually verify is not proof of a globe. Do you understand that?
well, you are wrong, because if there is if there is nothing else than
That's an assumption. That's your
if
claim.
there is nothing on Earth
If.
itself who can locate us, it
If.
must be the satellites.
If
No. But that's an assumption, right? So, Lexa, you making the
And
assumption
that
that this
if
is
is
where the
right.
signal is coming from is not proof of a globe. It is an assumption on your part of where the signal is coming from. It's
It's
far
just a-
from curvature or motion of the ocean.
he just admitted it, right? Every time you say "if" in your statement, and
I'm
then
saying
you said,
if
yeah, and then you said the "if" is true. So the assumption that "if" is true, that's your blind assertion, your blind claim that your "if" statement is true. It's not. You're just arbitrarily throwing this hypothetical around, right? If.
Yeah. So your assumption isn't proof, and it'll take us back to my earlier point. If your assumption is true, then that means there's curvature of the surface. So why don't you verify that?
as I said, I did, because when you are for the 100th time, when you are the mid Pacific Ocean, there are no GPS balloon who can locate you. When you were talking about balloon, you were talking about weather balloons, scientific balloons who are not made to locate you.
the
Then,
balloons that
then
send signals.
there are GPS antenna who are placed in the water. Those are unprecise because they need to stand still. The thing is that when you are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I mean,
Anchored.
good luck to
They're
make an
anchored.
antenna stand still.
Sorry. The water buoys are anchored. They don't just float arbitrarily around the fucking sea.
Okay, so how
You
would you
do-
put? Okay, listen. How would you put an anchor at 4,000 meters of depth? Tell me.
Mate, you do understand that weight. And yeah, because we've got undersea cables, and yeah, these things are coming up from these undersea cables. You do understand how the new Wi-Fi technology works. So we're just going to arbitrarily throw that away too. You think, first of all, your first thought was they were just floating around, and then you put a baseless claim about a depth that you're going to say that they can't reach. Really?
Yeah, Alexa, this is all assumption. This is all assumption from what you assuming the signal is coming from. That's not a proof of a curved Earth.
Undersea cable are just made to transmit internet.
Signals.
They're not made to
Yeah.
locate you on a map.
Yeah, 96% of the Earth communication is done down at ground level. Undersea cables and radio transmitters and receivers, land-based equipment. The other 4% comes from the sky, balloons and shit. So the majority of the communication takes place down here on the Earth. All right, even the tracking systems also. But yes, there are things up in the sky. The military use them all the time. Solar-powered drones, balloons, even just run-of-the-mill aircraft that just fly in regular patterns. So they communicate from one to another. You do realise they use the airplanes up in the sky to communicate with too, but you're going to forget about that as well, because they use all the technology available to send and receive signals, my friend. You don't need satellites in the vacuum of space, which is a second law of thermodynamics violation, by the way. But you don't need this random appeal to your special technology. The technology has always existed on the Earth.
But right, I mean, we can draw a line under this, Lexa, because we've established that you can't verify the source of the signal, right? So let's move on to something that we can verify. Have you got anything that you can verify for the globe?
I wasn't really done with the GPS antenna, but
Yeah, we are.
I'm gonna be
I can take it away from you from another way.
What about it?
okay. I'm gonna be honest
Elevation
right now.
angles better?
Let him be honest. Let him be honest quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest right now. Clearly, I was, a little bit for that studying for my next year in school, and I really do think this is a fucking waste of time, bro. Talking with you is a pure pain. Really, don't cut me. Please. I want to be honest. Please.
No,
Really,
if you're going to go into feelings, no one's going to go into feelings.
Shut the fuck up. He has to go because he's not here to learn. Then it's as simple as that, right? Because we don't waste our energy on that. If you don't have anything to learn here, then leave.
Yeah. Lexa,
Amen to that.
begged to come back multiple times and be unmuted to discuss. So clearly you're in a state of cognitive pain and dissonance because you've realized that the Earth isn't a globe, but you need to cling on to your religion. And yeah, it is a bit of a waste of time talking to you because your proof for the globe is stories and assumptions about a signal being received at sea. And Jedi and Timbo and everyone else pretty much debunked that for you. So yeah, it is a bit of a waste of time discussing with you. So you're on mute for now. If you can ever get hold of your emotions and actually present some verifiable evidence for the globe religion, we'll maybe let you try again someday.
You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I can't believe you had that much patience. That was incredible to listen. That you guys had incredible patience with that kid. And once he snapped, though, I had to give him the STFU, and I am so sorry. But holy fuck, you guys are really patient. You're very patient with that. That's awesome.
That kid only that kid only need to understand that he doesn't need to waste time if he doesn't like this.
Yeah, you can go anywhere else.
Yeah, and cinema with the girl. I don't know, in the science museum, whatever.
Yeah.
He can go back to Gem Pandas or something, and then they all go, "Oh, the globe! Ooh, ooh."
Yo,
No,
I want to say something, guys. I'm proud of all of you. Every single one of you that stayed muted, all of you. I know that took a lot of self-control, and you guys are awesome. Shout out to all of you.
You guys were talking to Lexa or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we're talking to a brick wall.
he had a meltdown at the end.
Hey, Mayhem, I think the teenager told us adults off. What do you think?
No, I made him really upset that one time I initially talked to him.
Okay.
He was pounding his desk and throwing a tantrum.
Same again, mate.
Oh my god. So you're the one who flat smacked the shit out of him, made him like this. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's why he keeps coming back. He even got his older brother to listen to him yelling and screaming, and he got his older brother involved, which it's sad to hear, but he dominates his older brother because his older brother thinks he's not as smart as his younger brother, which is Lexa.
That was him?
It's sad. Yeah, that's him.
That's tragic, by the way, because I heard his older brother, and his older brother is much more cognizant, cogent, and intelligent than Lexa.
Yeah, but because of that, Wolfgang, he dominates his older brother. Like, it's sad. You know, how he treats his older brother, it's sad.
Oh, damn. That sucks.
It is.
Yeah, but, I mean, he keeps coming back in here, so it's like, hey, I mean, hey, he's the one.
Yeah, he keeps coming back to tell us what a waste of time it is to come back.
Just the live screen that he's not coming back.
It's kind of like somebody gets a slap in the face and goes, "Ow, that really hurt." Well, wait a minute. Let me try that again.
Yeah, he left the server, but I actually have a feeling he will come back.
Oh yeah, he's done that. This is the third time he's done that. He leaves the server and then he comes back. So.
All right, I've got to jump, guys, but good to catch up with you all. Have a good night.
Great
Cheers, Wolfgang. Mate, well done. You held those conversations together really well, mate. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no worries. It was fun.
Great job. Great job.
All right, so real quick for the TikTok.
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.